One day, the king and queen of a fairy tale kingdom had a daughter. The beautiful princess had a magical fairy godmother called Stella, a winged horse, and also… I'm kidding. That wasn't a fairy tale, but the story of my life. Hi everyone, I'm Vanessa. If you're interested in fairy tales, subscribe to the Private Diary channel and tell us all about it in the comments down below. We might have the video just for you. I was born into a family of cool designers. Mom and dad had their own fashion brand. People all over the world knew their names. Mom's sister Stella was the highest paid top model in our country. Her beauty took everyone's breath away. When I was a kid, she often came over and brought me awesome gifts, just like a fairy godmother. One day, Stella read me the fairy tale about Sleeping Beauty and gave me very important advice. Remember, Vanessa, if you want to be happy, stay beautiful and stylish. There is no greater happiness than being stunning. Soon, my aunt disappeared from my life just as suddenly as when she'd come into it. I hadn't seen or heard from Stella since, but I never forgot her words of wisdom. I need to look better than anyone. Of course, everyone expected me to follow in my parents' footsteps. Mom and dad kept saying that I was a natural when it came to designing things. I would doodle, and my parents would turn those doodles into designer clothes. Soon, I had my own brand. The shows of the youngest designer in the world were a huge success. All the bloggers and fashion magazines were fascinated by such a talented baby. The interviews, red carpets, shows, it all went to my head. I became my parents' biggest project. It felt awesome to always be admired by everyone. One day, a journalist asked me a question that I didn't have an answer to. What influenced your work? I didn't understand a word he was saying, and I just scratched the back of my head in silence. The crowd cheered for me anyways. A girl a little older than me came up to the microphone. Vanessa, I'm a huge fan of yours. How can I become just as cool as you? I knew the answer to that one. All I had to do was repeat my aunt's words. If you want to be happy, stay beautiful and stylish. There's no greater happiness than being stunning. Thank you. I'll never forget your advice. Years went by and I turned 15. My parents still put a lot of effort into keeping me at the top of the fashion world. I took part in countless fashion shows and gave tons of interviews. My days were scheduled by the minute. But soon, my life took a weird turn. One day, I came to my workshop and saw that all the clothes for my new collection had been ruined. The security footage showed a mysterious hooded figure sneaking into my workshop and cutting them up with scissors. Now, these clothes were only fit to be worn by scarecrows. My parents said that whoever had done it must have envied me. I tried to forget about it, but that was easier said than done. I started to notice that mysterious hooded figure more and more often. I didn't know who they were, but they followed me around like a shadow. That lunatic was playing dirty tricks and even sneakily took pictures of me at the worst possible moments. Those stupid photos went viral on the internet. That bastard! They took a photo of me popping a pimple! I had a reputation as a flawless beauty, so the photo became a huge problem for me. Who hates me enough to ruin my career? I racked my brain over that mystery. After all, everyone adored me, even at school. I didn't have any enemies there. At least until a new kid called Joseph was transferred to our class. He was such a pain in the butt. I was used to always being the center of attention, but the new guy dared to treat me like I was an ordinary person. He didn't ask me for my autograph or shed tears of joy when I walked by. Joseph clearly had no taste. One day, I finally confronted him. Why would I admire you? Is there something special about you? Don't act like you don't know. I'm Vanessa, the youngest designer in the world. Your parents do everything for you. You're nothing without them. I wanted to slap the living daylights out of him just for the sheer audacity. No one had ever spoken to me like that before. I told him he was just jealous of me, but he just laughed and left. Can you believe it? The nerve of him. I soon found out that Joseph was actually an interesting guy. He was part of the swimming team, knew how to write mobile apps, and also collected rare comics. His multiple hobbies made him popular at school. Of course, it pissed me off that Joseph became everyone's new favorite, but I didn't stoop to revenge. Look at his smug face. What a piece of work. What are you grumbling about? Come here. I'll show you a game I made myself. It's about a moody girl called Vanessa who thinks she's the center of the universe. Keep this up and there'll be hell to pay. Even though we fought like cats and dogs at school, when I came home, I couldn't help but think about Joseph's words. There was some truth to them. I really hadn't done much. My parents had been making the clothes for the new collections for a while now. I was just the face of the brand and promoted the clothes at fashion shows. It made me wonder if designing clothes was actually something I liked doing at all. I tried to talk to my parents about it. Mom, Dad, I want to try doing something else to find myself.
Forget it. We've already decided you're a designer.
But
No buts. We've invested a lot of money in promoting your brand. Not another word.
I had no choice but to agree. The next day, my mysterious hooded enemy appeared yet again and wrote something nasty about me on the window of our boutique. Vanessa is a mediocre upstart? Only one person could have written such a thing about me. That was the last straw for me. I ran to school and I pounced on the new kid. I don't know what you're up to, but I'm not letting you get away with it. Joseph acted like he had no idea what I was on about, so I showed him a photo of those words on my shop window.
Are you out of your mind? I have better things to do than to mess around like that.
Like I'd believe your lame excuses. I'm watching you.
You psycho.
I didn't take my eyes off the new guy all day to catch him red-handed if he messed with me again. However, he didn't do anything suspicious, so I went home. All of a sudden, the mysterious hooded figure appeared from around the corner and walked straight towards me. At that moment, I felt like a cowardly chicken and I tried to run away, but my legs were shaking so badly I fell over. The hooded figure kept getting closer. Then, a motorcycle stopped next to me and I saw Joseph. What the what? Are you a biker on top of everything else?
Hurry up and hop on. We've got to go.
I quickly sat behind him, and Joseph took me away. It seemed he hadn't lied to me, and I had been wrong to accuse him. He drove me home, and I apologized to him. It's just, you have no idea how hard it is to always look immaculate and successful. You were right, though. I haven't achieved anything by myself. I'm just a project. Maybe being a designer isn't my thing.
Wow. Who could have thought Princess Vanessa is a normal girl? Don't pout, I'm kidding. If you really want to find yourself, I'll help you.
We shook hands, and the next day, Joseph tried to help me find a new hobby. I tried swimming, driving a bike, and writing code for an app. It was all interesting, but my heart didn't skip a beat and butterflies didn't flutter in my stomach. I'm sorry, Joseph, but none of these feel right.
Don't give up. Sooner or later, you'll find your vocation.
Still, it all helped me grow close to Joseph. I didn't have any friends before, only fans. That's why I really enjoyed chatting with my classmate. But one day, my parents found out I was looking for my calling and went ballistic. Didn't we tell you you're destined to be a designer? You don't need to worry about anything else. Fashion isn't the only thing out there. My classmates have so many interesting hobbies. I want to try doing other things. I probably shouldn't have said that. My parents gave me dirty looks and grounded me. But I'd already tasted freedom and decided I was sick of being their puppet. So I climbed out the window to hang out with Joseph. One evening, I got out of my room as usual and was about to head to my classmate's house. But then a figure appeared next to me. It was my mysterious enemy. There was nowhere to run and I just froze in fear. The stranger took off their hood and I saw you? Wait, who are you? I don't know you. A girl slightly older than me was standing in front of me and smirking. When we were kids, you told me the key to being happy is looking beautiful, right? Oh, yeah, that was right. I just told her the same thing that my Aunt Stella had told me. But I didn't get why that girl hated me so much. Her name was Barbara. To my surprise, she burst into angry tears. Your stupid advice ruined my life. I believed that I could succeed like a naive fool. I studied hard and tried to become a famous designer for years, but nothing changed. I stayed a nobody because I live on a farm and my family doesn't have the money to promote my brand. You, on the other hand, didn't lift a finger, but you have everything that I can only dream of thanks to your parents' connections. Now I knew what happened. It wasn't fair that Barbara was taking her anger out on me, but I still felt sorry for her. I'm sorry. Recently, I realized that I've always been just a project for my parents. But if you promise not to ruin my life anymore, I'll help you with your career. My reaction clearly shocked her. She gave me the address of her farm, and that weekend, I snuck out of my home, grabbed some expensive fabric from my workshop, and asked Joseph to drive me to Barbara's place. She showed me her works and my eyes bugged out. They were gorgeous. You're really talented. I'll help you with the new collection, and people all over the world will know your name. We teamed up and got to work. At some point, I heard a weird noise outside. Barbara told me it was a horse neighing and led me to the stables. My heart skipped a beat, and butterflies fluttered in my stomach. It was a sign. I instantly fell in love with that place and felt like it was exactly what I'd been looking for so long. From that day on, I started visiting the farm more often. My parents didn't suspect a thing. While Barbara was creating masterpieces using the fabric I was giving her, I took care of the horses. I fed them, combed their manes, and rode on them. I even had a favorite. She was gorgeous, and I named her Ferrari. Soon enough, I stopped trying to design clothes at all. I didn't know how to tell my parents I'd found another vocation, but they soon found out about it anyway. Mom and Dad were opening a new boutique. Of course, I had to be there at the opening. Unfortunately, I was riding Ferrari and I forgot all about it. I was riding with the wind when I got a call from my mom. "Where on earth are you? The journalists have already arrived. Get over here this second." Oh, dang it. My parents would never forgive me if I didn't show up. I had no choice but to arrive at the boutique on horseback. Everyone cheered and thought that my dramatic entrance was a part of the advertising campaign. My parents were shocked and gave me the scolding of a lifetime at home. But this time, I firmly told them I would no longer be a designer because I had found my true calling. Once again, I paid dearly for my willfulness. My parents posted on all social medias that I had had a nervous breakdown from overexertion and then sent me to a clinic. I had to talk to a psychologist who they'd bribed to try and brainwash me.
Vanessa, this is just a teenage rebellion. Your parents put a lot of effort into creating your brand. You can't let them down.
At first, I ignored her words, but soon they got to me, and I started to believe that my parents really did know what was best for me. A week after that, I came back home and told them I would do whatever they wanted me to do. They were over the moon and even decided to homeschool me.
That brat was a bad influence on you. This way, you won't fall in with a bad crowd again.
I didn't reply to Barbara and Joseph's texts, and I tried to forget about them. But one day, my friends managed to get backstage at one of my fashion shows.
Vanessa, where have you been? I thought you found your own way.
Ferrari misses you. I knew they cared about me, but I was afraid I would let my parents down, so I chased them away. Go away. You don't get it. That night, I was eating peanut butter in my room. Then I heard a voice coming from the living room, and I went to see who'd come over. My parents were talking to a stranger with a deformed face. The woman noticed me and beamed. "Vanessa, sweetheart. Oh, you're all grown up. The last time I saw you, you were so small." Who are you?
It's me, your fairy godmother.
Aunt Stella? What happened to you? You used to be so beautiful. She smiled sadly and told me her story. My aunt used to be sure that only beauty could make her happy. She was so afraid of losing it, she got plastic surgery. However, she went too far and ruined her face forever.
At first, I didn't know how to move on. I was miserable and lost. But then, I turned my life around. I started to volunteer and I found my true calling.
Now, I travel around the world and help people. I once told you that the key to happiness is beauty, but that's not true. Happiness lies in doing something you like. My parents tried to get her to shut up. "Stella, that's enough. Vanessa has only just stopped disobeying us." But it was too late. My aunt's words became a wake-up call for me, and I firmly told my parents that I wanted to be happy too. I won't be one of your projects anymore. From now on, I'm gonna work with horses and take part in races. Mom and Dad turned red with anger. Stella praised me for my determination, though. I knew what I had to do. I came to Barbara and I filmed a video for my subscribers. "Hi everyone, it's about time you found out the truth. All those collections recently have been created by this talented girl and not me. I was just the face of the brand. Follow Barbara. Her masterpieces will surprise you. My plan worked perfectly. The video caused quite a stir. Barbara got the fame she dreamed of, and I finally got the chance to be myself. My parents flew into a rage as soon as I came home. We've invested so much money into you, but you ruined everything. Has it ever occurred to you to ask me what I want?
As long as you live in this house, we get to decide what you do and do not want.
Right. About that, I'm gonna be staying with Aunt Stella for a while. She gets me. They held a serious grudge against me and didn't try to stop me. I started going to school again. Joseph, Barbara, and of course, the horses were my friends. I felt like I was walking on air. Every summer, Stella and I went to different countries and volunteered there. I used to live in a golden cage, and I had no idea that the world was this big. Recently, Barbara told me that my parents wanted to promote her brand. You don't mind, do you? Will it make you happy? Yes. I've always dreamed about this. Then do it. What makes you happy? Tell me in the comments down below. If you haven't found a vocation yet, be sure to subscribe to the Private Diary channel. After all, we try to inspire you just like you inspire us.